So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now, needless to say that you have to revise this lecture just after watching it, because if you don't, then these current affairs would quickly skip your mind. You'll quickly forget them. Therefore, revision is very important from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. So do check it out. All right, let's begin today's lecture. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. Okay, so let's begin. So daily current affairs, 27th October, Monday, and here is the topics list. So in total, we'll be covering 5 topics. Number 1 is new entrant in ASEAN. So ASEAN countries are a group of 10 countries, but now a new country has been added. Okay, and now the number goes to 11. Clear? And the reason is because, well, a summit is going on currently in Kuala Lumpur, ASEAN Summit, annual summit. So we'll talk about ASEAN and this new entrant. Then the second news item is related to foreign universities in India. Now, foreign universities are opening their campuses in India. Now, what are the rules and regulations with respect to establishment of foreign universities in India? Why are they attracted to India, these big foreign universities? And what benefits would accrue to Indian students? We'll talk about this. Then the third news item is with respect to Google's AI model, which will come in really handy for cancer research. A recent cancer breakthrough was done by this AI model, so we'll talk about this. Then we'll talk about dogs for security forces in India, a fascinating topic. And last, we'll talk about Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar. Okay, this is known as Padma Bhushan for science and technology. So we'll talk about this award. Okay, so these are the 5 news items. Number 1 news item is related to international relations portion of your UPSC syllabus. Number 2 related to policy and governance, education and all. Number 3 is related to science and technology portion of your UPSC syllabus. Number 4, internal security portion of your UPSC syllabus. And number 5, general GK. But more importantly, science and technology portion of your UPSC syllabus. Okay, so these are the 5 news items that we shall zero in our attention on. So let's start discussing them one by one, starting with topic number 1, and that is new entrant in ASEAN. So look, ASEAN is a group or was a group of 10 Southeast Asian countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, all right. So 10 Southeast Asian countries, they grouped together in 1967 and they created ASEAN. Now, India has been engaging with ASEAN. ASEAN is very important for India when it comes to India's Act East policy. Clear? Now, currently, ASEAN Summit, annual leader summit is going on in Kuala Lumpur, okay, Malaysia. And on the sidelines of that, India-ASEAN Summit is also going on, which was addressed by Prime Minister Modi virtually. But this summit is important because in this summit, ASEAN has expanded itself. Okay, it has added a new Southeast Asian country, taking the total membership to 11. So in this news item, we'll talk about ASEAN. We'll talk about this new entrant, this new country that is added to ASEAN. And then we'll talk about India-ASEAN engagement. Clear? So these are the 3 subtopics that would be covered in this broader topic. So let's begin, okay? So new entrant in ASEAN. Now ASEAN stands for Association for Southeast Asian Nations. Okay? This is ASEAN. So why was ASEAN in news? First, let's talk about this. So the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations welcomed East Timor as its newest member at its ongoing summit in Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur. East Timor, also known as Timor-Leste, the nation has recent history of colonization by Portugal, Indonesia with US assistance. We'll talk about East Timor, but East Timor's other name is Timor-Leste, and this has been added to ASEAN. So first, let's talk about ASEAN, right? So as you can see on this map, okay, these are the 10 countries that belong to ASEAN group. Okay, these are Southeast Asian countries. As you can see, Myanmar is there, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia. All these countries are there. Okay, so they were 10. Now 1 country is added, and that is called East Timor. Now, where is East Timor? This is East Timor. Just at the right of this territory of Indonesia. This is East Timor. Okay, now about ASEAN. Okay, so it is a political and economic union of 11 member states in Southeast Asia. It was established on August 8, 1967 in Bangkok, Thailand as a part of Bangkok Declaration. Okay. When it was formed, it contained 5 members, and these 5 members are today known as the founding members of ASEAN. These were Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Okay, later 5 more were added: Brunei, then Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, and the latest entrant, Timor-Leste. Okay, now ASEAN has ASEAN has 3 key institutions. Okay, first is ASEAN Summit, Leader Summit, that happens every year. This is one institution where major decisions are taken. Then ASEAN ministerial meetings happen. Okay, so for example, finance ministerial meeting would happen. So finance ministers from all these 10 nations would come and meet. Then tourism ministerial meet would happen. Tourism ministers would come and meet. So this is another mechanism. And then to do all the paperwork and provide secretarial support, there is ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta, Indonesia. Clear? Plus, under ASEAN, there are 3 organizations. Okay, ASEAN Politico-Security Community, which takes care of geopolitics and security of these nations. Then ASEAN Economic Community, because it is an economic union also. Okay, it is a single market. And then ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. So these are the 3 pillars of ASEAN, basically telling you that how these countries are engaging with each other. They are engaging in terms of politics, security, economics, society, and cultural. Make sense? Okay. Now, let's talk about the latest entrant to ASEAN, and that is Timor-Leste or East Timor. Look at this map. Okay. So I told you this part of Indonesia, to the right of this part is Timor-Leste. Okay. Now, if you zoom in on this part, clear? Then you will find this. So this territory belongs to Indonesia. This territory got independence from Indonesia and is known as East Timor or Timor-Leste, with its capital at Dili. Okay. It has some territory inside this West Timor, Indonesia, this Okusa island. And there are some islands. This territory is known as Timor Sea. Just remember this part. So East Timor is close to Timor Sea, the capital is Dili, and it is neighboring, it shares its land border with West Timor, which is part of Indonesia. Now, if we talk about Timor-Leste, we need to know some facts about Timor-Leste. Okay, so it was a Portuguese colony till 1975. So it gained independence in 1975, but that independence was short-lived because it was quickly occupied by Indonesia. Okay, so Indonesia colonized Timor-Leste, and this colonization was there till 2002. Finally, Timor-Leste got independence from Indonesia in 2002. Now, Timor-Leste is one of the poorest nations in ASEAN, and it is an oil and natural gas based economy. Most of its money, revenues, economy is dependent on oil and natural gas reserves found in Timor Sea. Okay, so these are the facts that you need to know about Timor-Leste. Okay, now let's talk about ASEAN and India. How have India and ASEAN been engaging? Okay, so the engagement started in 1992 because back in 1992, India started its policy called Look East policy, where India's diplomats would engage with its eastern side, and on India's eastern side lies ASEAN. So under Look East policy, well, India became sectoral dialogue partner, then became full dialogue partner, then in 2002, summit level partnership. What does that mean? That every year, India and ASEAN will have a summit. Okay, then it was upgraded to strategic partnership in 2012. And in 2014, Look East policy was enhanced. And today this policy is known as Act East policy. So under Act East policy, we took our partnership with ASEAN to another level. We became comprehensive strategic partners in 2022, deepening our relationship with them. Okay, so remember these terms, Look East policy and Act East policy. Act East policy, in 2014 it was brought in. Make sense? Okay, all right. Now let's quickly shift our focus to second news item, and that is foreign universities in India. Now look, you see there is huge demand for foreign universities or foreign education in India. But for that, these students have to travel abroad and take admission in these foreign universities. But you know this, that there is a huge demand for foreign education among Indian students. Now, the most preferred destination for Indian students is USA, Canada, UK, sometimes Australia. These are the 4 top destinations for Indian students, and there is a good reason behind this because all these 4 countries are developed countries, their education is top notch, and they're English speaking countries. So Indian students don't have any problem adjusting in their culture, right? Now, the thing is, in all these 4 countries, anti-immigration movements have become really strong. And all these 4 countries are now taking steps to reduce immigration, and that includes student immigration. Okay. Now, because of this, most Indian students are unable to get student visa for these places. But still, there is a huge demand. Now, to cater to this demand, these foreign universities are expressing their interest in opening campuses in India so that Indian students do not have to travel abroad. They can enroll themselves in these foreign universities within India. Now, earlier, India did not allow foreign universities to set up their campuses in India. But since 2020-21, we have allowed foreign universities, and so far, 17 countries have announced that they will set up their campuses in India. This is good news. Now, what is important for us to know? What are the rules and regulations for these foreign universities to enter India? Which foreign universities are eligible in India? Okay, and why are they so attracted to India? Right? These are some of the things that you should be aware of as UPSC aspirants. So we'll talk about this. Okay, so let's talk about this. So foreign universities in India. So what was in the news? So in 2020, under National Education Policy, we started basically allowing foreign universities to enter India. So NEP recommends select universities, those among top 100 globally, be allowed to operate in India, calling for internationalization of education in India. Then later, after a couple of years, UGC, University Grants Commission, the top-notch regulatory body for higher education institutions in India, they came out with certain regulations in 2023 to basically govern foreign universities setting up campuses in India. Okay, now foreign universities set up their campuses in India as per the rules and regulations of UGC. Now, including the 3 already here, so 3 have already set up their campuses. Total of 17 foreign universities have expressed their interest in setting up campuses in India, in places like Mumbai, NCR, Chennai, Bangalore. Okay? Now, the important thing is, which foreign universities are eligible as per UGC regulations? So let's talk about this, okay? So foreign varsities, we call them varsities as well. So under the UGC regulations, only eligibility criteria for a foreign university is ranking within top 500. So only that foreign university would be allowed in India, which belongs to this top 500 global rankings. Okay. Now these rankings are QS World University Rankings 2026. India basically accepts these world rankings. There are so many other types of world rankings. We accept Quacquarelli-Symonds QS World University Rankings. Okay. UGC regulations mandate that the university imparts same quality of education, offer the same qualifications, curriculum and assessment as their main campus in USA, UK. Okay. So this is one such regulation from UGC. Then the universities, these universities are offering courses in their campuses. Okay. Specific courses. Now, what courses are the most popular in India? So business management, computer science, accounting, finance, economics, data science, and AI. And currently these universities are offering 3-year undergrad courses and 1-year master's program. No other courses. Okay. Now the main question is, why are these universities attracted to India? Well, let's talk about this. This is fascinating. First of all, we have discussed this. There is huge demand, right? So because there is huge demand, these students, Indian students, are ready to pay heavy fees for getting admission into these universities, right? So there is this huge demand. Then the thing is that these foreign universities are struggling financially in their home countries. There is a financial crisis for them. Why? Because their biggest source of revenue was international students. But because of anti-immigration policies, international students are not enrolling in these universities. So they are suffering financially. That is why they have decided to come to India. Right? So number one reason is financial crisis because of reduced number of international students. And number two, there is huge demand in India. These are the reasons. Make sense? Okay. All right. Now let's quickly shift our focus to next news item, and that is, well, Google's AI model C2S scale for cancer. So recently Google developed a AI model called C2S scale. Okay. Now this AI model is trained. It's just like ChatGPT only. Okay. But ChatGPT is trained on human languages. This model is trained on biological language. Okay. Cellular language. It understands the language of the cell. and it is good at understanding cell, their development, various stages of development, and predicting how will cell behave in the near future. Now, this model virtually in its own computer basically discovered a novel technique used by cancer cells to hide themselves from human immune system. Okay, so basically they did some sort of cancer research. That cancer research was validated in labs, and now people are saying that AI can really help in finding new drugs for new types of diseases. Okay, so this was in the news. So let's discuss it quickly. Okay, so Google's AI model C2S scale for cancer. So what was in the news? So Google's DeepMind, it is Google's AI company, recently announced that its AI model C2S scale had generated a novel hypothesis about how cancer cells behave, which was later confirmed through lab experiments. Okay, this is a milestone for AI in science and opens up a promising new direction for developing cancer treatments. Okay, now what did this new model do? Okay, basically, what is this novel hypothesis that was discovered by this AI model? So let's talk about this novel hypothesis. Okay, you see, when you develop cancer, you develop cancerous cells. These cancer cells multiply, okay, and well, cause you harm. Now your immune system, human immune system, is trained to kill cancer cells. But the problem is, these cancer cells hide themselves in plain sight. Clear? Now there is one reason for that. Basically, the way immune system identifies these cancer cells is, immune system basically identifies anything based on a specific protein on those things called antigen. So whenever there is a virus and your immune system attacks that virus, well, on that virus, there is this antigen which is identified by the immune system and then it attacks. But if this antigen is not there, your immune system would not get to know who is this person, okay, or not person, but what to attack, right? Now, cancer cells do not express this antigen, and that is why they are able to hide themselves from immune system. Now, this Google model basically discovered a medicine which, given to a patient, okay, will increase the amount of antigen produced by these cancer cells so that this immune system identifies them and kill them. So if you give this medicine to cancer patients, well, their immune system is going to destroy cancer. This was discovered all inside a computer by this AI model and later validated inside a lab. So this is a big thing, right? That's what this novel hypothesis is. Problem with cancer? Our immune system is constantly looking for unhealthy or disease cells, but cancer cells are good at hiding. C2S scale was asked to find drugs that could make cancer cells more visible. And it found that drug called silmatecerib. It's very difficult to pronounce, but you get the idea. This was done by this drug. That was all in the news. Okay. By the way, about this new model, like ChatGPT is trained on human languages, this model is trained on biological languages. That's all. Okay. And it did something great. It found a cure for cancer. And not through any medicine. Not through chemotherapy or radiotherapy. Your own immune system will attack cancer. So it's a big thing. Now, what are the advantages of this? Well, first of all, this is significant because if this has been proven to be right, and it has been proven to be right, well, this model will be used for further cancer research and good cure for cancer would be found. So this is there. It is also useful for drug discovery. Like this model discovered a drug that would enhance the antigen. Okay. Then, because this model is trained on how individual cells behave, well, it can be used in personalized medicines as well. Plus, what this model does is, it creates virtual cells inside a computer and then studies their behavior. So you can test drugs on these virtual cells. So this is also good, right? So this is the significance. That's about it. All right. And now let's quickly shift our focus to next news item, and that is dogs for security forces. It's a very short news item, but I thought you should know about this. Most security forces utilize dogs for their service. Okay. What kind of service? Well, search, seizure, okay, rescue, for rescue operations. So for these things, dogs are utilized by, well, armed forces, security forces all over the world. In India also, they are utilized. Now in India, generally we use foreign breeds like Labradors, German Shepherd, Belgian Shepherds, all these. But, well, Atmanirbharta is in the news these days. Atmanirbharta is quite popular. So there has been a considerable push to utilize indigenous Indian dog breeds for these things. And 2 dogs have been selected for training. Okay, 2 particular breeds of dogs have been selected. Indian breeds of dogs have been selected for BSF, Border Security Force. So let's talk about those 2 dogs. Okay, quickly. So dogs for security forces. So what was in the news? Border Security Force has started training 150 dogs of the indigenous Rampur and Mudhol Hound. Rampur Hound and Mudhol Hound. These dogs will be used in BSF's border guarding duties, counterinsurgency operations, and special tasks. Okay, now let's talk about these dogs. So we'll talk about Mudhol Hounds. They look like this. So these are believed to have been bred first by Raja Maloji Rao Ghodpade of the Kingdom of Mudhol in Bagalkot. Okay, the Raja is said to have presented a couple of these dogs to King George V when he visited India from England. Dogs to King George on a visit to England, after which the breed got the name Mudhol Hound. Okay, what are its characteristics? Excellent stamina, agility, sharp vision, good sense of smell, known for hunting and guarding. They were sent to Indian Army. Concern is that its performance dips in cold environments, because this is an Indian dog adapted to hot Indian conditions, right? So its performance dips in cold environments, so it can't be used in mountains. Okay, then there is Rampur Hound. So they are also called Rampur Greyhounds. They were bred around 300 years ago in Uttar Pradesh, Rampur region by Nawab of Rampur by crossbreeding Afghan hounds and English greyhounds. These dogs were mostly used by royal families, okay, for hunting and all. But well, after independence, when royal families declined, their numbers also declined because they were patronized by royal families. Rampur hounds are sleek and athletic, slide-bound breeds, slim also, as you can see. Rampur hounds are one of the fastest dogs, capable of running at more than 40 miles per hour, not kilometer, miles. Concern is, Rampur hounds are naturally timid. However, they bark loudly when alerting and can be protective or even ferocious towards intruders or other dogs. That's about it. That's all you need to know. Okay. And last, let's talk about Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar. So, Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar was instituted last year. Basically, these are our country's science awards. Okay. They're also known as Padma Bhushan of Science and Technology. Okay. They were instituted last year and they replaced all the other scientific awards that existed in India. Now we only have Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar. This Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar was recently announced. Its results were announced. And our famous astrophysicist, Narlikar, was given this award posthumously. I mean, he died. Okay. So, well, we need to know about Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar, okay, because it was recently instituted, so a question can be asked. So, let's quickly talk about it. And then in the end, we'll talk about Narlikar's contributions. Okay. All right. So, Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar. So, why was it in the news? So, India's most celebrated astrophysicist, Jayant Narlikar, who passed away in May, was on Saturday selected for Vigyan Ratna Puruskar, which is part of Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar. Modeled on Padma Awards, the Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar is the country's top science award. Okay. So, Rashtriya Vigyan Puruskar has 4 categories, 4 types of awards. Vigyan Ratna for lifetime achievements, Vigyan Shri for exceptional individual contributions, Vigyan Yuva for young scientists under the age of 45, and Vigyan Team Award for teams. Clear? That's it. Now, let's talk about Narlikar's contribution, okay, because he has made India famous in the field of astrophysics. So what did he do? What were his contributions because of which he's awarded this prestigious award? So basically, he developed Hoyle-Narlikar theory of conformal gravity with Sir Fred Hoyle, combining Einstein's theory of relativity and Mach's principle. He basically created a theory which is renowned in the world along with Sir Fred Hoyle. Okay, so this is his contribution. You need not know what is Hoyle-Narlikar theory. Okay, just remember the name. Then, you all know that universe was born out of Big Bang. But Big Bang at one point of time was a theory. There were various competing theories that once universe was nothing and then an explosion happened and universe was created. Well, Narlikar and his compatriots believed that universe always existed. It just keeps on contracting and expanding. That theory was different from Big Bang and was called steady state theory. Narlikar was a proponent of that. And at one point of time, many believed that universe is in steady state. But then later evidence was found for Big Bang and then this theory was rejected. Yet his contributions were immense. Then he modified Einstein's general theory of relativity to support continuous generation of matter. He led many experiments in the high altitude region, basically proving the existence of microorganisms in stratosphere and all. basically saying that there is a possibility of extraterrestrial origins of life. Okay. Plus, he has been given many other awards which are given in your notes, so do read through that as well. All right. And that would be all. With that, we conclude today's session. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it will add more value if you're consistent and regular with this lecture series and you revise it from the notes. So in the hope you do, I shall see you next time with a bunch of another topics in this lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. Thank you, everyone.